Hello guys, this is Keys to the Truth. Apologies for being away from making videos for a while. I am back now. Just been busy with stuff and working on that project that I mentioned in one of my recent posts. Working on the direct translation of the Bhagavad Gita, which I'm doing directly from the Sanskrit. But more than that, more than a translation, it's a decoding. So it's very time consuming, but man, it will reveal some truth bombs that, I'm sure you're going to love when we get to that. But so I might publish that as a first book, or the Shiva Sutras, the decoding of the Shiva Sutras. Shiva Sutras are a lot quicker and faster. For some reason, they're still really, really deep, but just the depth and the breadth of the Bhagavad Gita, each paragraph or verse, if you want to call it that, is very, very intense. And it's got a lot of different meanings intertwined. So that's a huge, huge project that I'm working on. And I'll post some of that content here. I'm using some of the same methodologies I'm using for some other videos, just like this one. But man, it's packing a punch. It's like really, really, really amazing. And if you don't know what to watch out for, you might miss it. So at any rate, let's get down to business. So what is mathematics? What is math? You might say, well, keys to the truth. I don't know what sauce you've been sipping, but we all know what math is, right? And let's ask our good friend, or not, right here, Google. Let's see what Google tells us math is. The abstract science of number, quantity, and space, whatever that means. Math may be studied, blah blah blah. Man, I can't even read that. It's so bad. So let's ask somebody else. Britannica, the science of structure, order, and relation that has evolved from the elemental practices of counting, measuring, and describing the shapes of objects. Maybe. Let's ask somebody else. Merriam-Webster, definition of mathematics: the science of numbers and their operations. Okay, that's a better explanation. It might not be the explanation, but it's a better idea. Interrelations, combinations, generalizations, and abstractions, and of space, configurations and their structure, measurement, transformation, and generalization. Okay, yeah, that's not that bad actually. I mean, we could debate this all night long. Now, let's continue. So, where do they claim that this word comes from? Remember, the words have meaning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Okay? So, they're claiming here, where etymology, they're claiming right here that it's from a plural of obsolete Old French. What? So, the French was the first language. What? Latin. Okay, so they can't make the French fly, so now they're throwing Latin at us. Okay, well, last time I heard there's 0 villagers and 0 villages and 0 places in Italy or other that speak Latin. Okay, and you can compare that to any other languages. Navajo, you can compare that to any number of South American languages. Mayan, you compare that to Greek. You can compare that to so many other ancient languages that are still around. Okay, so Latin, as I've told you before, that's the smoking gun. That is just a fake lead. It's a fake rabbit hole. There's nothing there. It's a made-up construct to fool you. Okay, Greek is a real language. I'll give you that. So they're saying that math, the word math comes from mathanainen, learn Okay, they have to give you a plausible explanation. Otherwise, you're not going to buy it. Okay? So, let's see how it's pronounced.
Μαθαίνω. Μαθαίνω.
Let me turn up that volume.
Μαθαίνω. Μαθαίνω.
Matheno. Okay, so my Greek is horrible. What little I know of it. So it means learning, okay? Learning. All right, well, it kind of does the trick, and it fools a lot of people. But that's not the ultimate explanation. That's not the root etymology, the root cause of stuff, okay? So if we remember math correctly from our days in school, or maybe you're still in school, maybe you're a math nerd, or you're not, you probably had a really hard time with math back in the day. I know I did. Probably, I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, I love math." Maybe one or two people, but still, usually it gives you a huge headache. Uh, Exams, um, SATs, getting into school, getting into college, um, technical exams if you're an engineer, solving problems, solving equations. Your child brain just not does not get it for some reason, and they have this idea that it's because you're dumb, or because I'm dumb, or because I'm stupid, or because I'm not good enough, right? Maybe only the teacher's pet is good enough, but I'm not. So, and when you're in the middle of it, you probably don't notice it. But when you're at my age, when you've pretty much, knock on wood, done most of the things that you came here to do, and I hope I still have a lot left to do. One of them being sharing this information, that God's being so gracious as to share with us, is you notice that a lot of these brainiacs that did so well in these subjects, that were like, and you were amazed at, like, oh, they're so intelligent. Oh my gosh, they can solve all the equations, all the problems. They in the real world, and I'm generalizing here, and I could be making a mistake, so I apologize. So generalization is a bad thing usually, because it leads to making general statements that are, have a lot of errors in them. But a lot of these people weren't so successful in their business life, or in their, quote unquote real life, as you might think. Because if you're in 12th grade, or you're in 10th grade, or whatever, you're in college, and you think, oh my gosh, the people getting straight A's, they're gonna, take over the world, and this and that and the other. It just never gonna happen. It doesn't happen. When you grow up, you find out that it was the slackers, that had some other amazing capabilities, emotional intelligence, some other intelligence, some other stuff, luck, if you want to call it luck, or just God's design, or they were just really hardworking. Maybe they were just really good at making money. They, in their materialistic world, they usually do a lot better than the math wizards. That's been my observation. Maybe I'm wrong. Please tell me in the comments. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that if you're still going through school, you're still going through math, I mean, don't sweat it. Do what you have to do, learn what you have to learn, but it's not a huge deal unless you're like an engineer that's working on building bridges. Then you have to get the math right, right? But so here's what math really means, and you're immediately gonna get why it is what it is, and why they named it that way. All right. So here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The first, well, if we look for the word math in certain parts in Sanskrit, you're not going to find it in certain databases. So it's going to give you close relationships, but it's not going to give you the right one. For example, here, matha, it could be monastery, and you could probably buy that one because you would be thinking, okay, maybe there's monks that are, back in the day working with the numbers, blah, 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 divining the relationships with the universe. But centrifuge, churning, here we're getting close. So I had to look at a different database, okay? I had to look at a different database, and lo and behold, I found it. So here we have it. Here, this one. I really recommend this database, but you have to look at different ones and compare. So math is a Sanskrit word, and it is spelled like this. This means ma. This means ma, and this is a thi, math. Okay, here would be matha, but it's not matha. So you have to change that little there, so it's ending in math. All the consonants in Sanskrit by default are end in a. So there's no consonant that is just m or t or th like we have in other languages, but they all end in a, and that's by design. There's a reason behind that because of the power of the letter A. I'm going to talk about that in one of my upcoming videos. By the way, guys, do not forget to check out my website. It should be up very soon now, keystotruth.com. Again, keystotruth.com. Be sure to check it out, bookmark it, and sign up for the newsletter or whatever we're going to have there, so you get more content, and also you just stay tuned to whatever news we have there. And it's also a backup, right? So because of the censorship. But anyway, so math here, they have this ending with a th sound. Th, just like thought. Okay. So what does it mean in Sanskrit? It has several meanings, like all other words in Sanskrit. So one of them is a type of plant or types of plants, okay, specific plants, all right? What else? And now you're going to see the big reveal. Math means to dwell, to inhabit. Okay, doesn't sound like much to go, okay? To grind, and then we start getting to the facts. To churn, okay? To produce by churning. To agitate, to shake, to steer, to round up, to turn up and down, okay? Crush, grind. Well, now we're talking. To grind down, to oppress, to afflict, to trouble, to distress sorely. What the hey? To hurt, to injure. Oh my God, now you're talking. Keys to the truth. And this is what you and I went through when we were studying math, or trying to study math, because we weren't taught the actual methods. We were taught the nonsense, okay? And I'm gonna show you what the proper methods are here. So this is revealing their true purpose: to destroy, to kill, to annihilate, to crush down, to tear off, to dislocate what? To dislocate your mind, to mix, to mingle, to be confused or disturbed in the mind. Can you believe this? Or what? This is exactly what the intent is. That's how they name these things. All right. So you're gonna dwell because you're gonna be stuck in something. You're gonna have a grind to be well, to regret or regret, to remember with sorrow and regret. So that's a typo. You're sure gonna regret it, to suffer pain, to afflict. Are you seeing this? I mean, you can't make this stuff up, okay? So this is exactly what math is, and what math's intention is. And that's how they took this word from ancient Sanskrit, which is the language of creation. It's a language that was not developed by humans or fallen angels. This is the language of God Himself. and I have tons of hours of evidence. Be sure to watch my videos, and I'll do a ton more. And Christ even says, speaks Sanskrit in the Bible, and it's still preserved to this day. I'll have to do another video on that. So this is a fact, right? In my opinion, and call me crazy, Sanskrit being the word of God is equal to Christ himself. Christ Yeshua, whatever you want to call me. If you want to call him Jesus, that's fine. I've become a little more flexible with myself in regards to that. The name that's used in the Sanskrit scriptures is Yeshu, and that's also how the Jesuits call him, by the way. So I'll have to do videos on that. And even though they work for the dark side, they know what's up. They know what's going on. They know the truth. They want to hide that truth from you. They want to keep you separated in ghettos, on little segments. Oh, you can't talk about trees. You can't talk about crystals. Oh, you can't talk about Sanskrit. Oh, you can't talk about Christ. Oh, you don't talk about Jesus. Or don't put the dots together. Don't connect the pieces of the puzzle together, because we want to keep you enthralled. We want to keep you cursed. We want to keep you bewitched, and we want to keep you under our spell. So that's how they roll. So I'm like, I'm done with all that mind control. Like, absolutely. So what do you think? What do you follow? Well, follow your heart. Follow your heart to the path to God. That's what yoga means. Yoga does not mean union. It means going towards God. That's exactly what it means. And I'll do a lot more videos on that. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments on this subject. And so what's the right word? So again, it's not that Sanskrit is a bad thing or a good thing. It's just creation. It's the language the word by which God creates things. So if the evil ones, of the fallen angels, know all about it, because that's the language they spoke, and then they forbid humans to speak it. Only the Brahmins and the priests that were ministering to them were allowed to speak it. So anyway, by the grace of God, it's been preserved to this day. And so the point is that there's a lot of evil intention in some of the words that they choose from Sanskrit, and they use it against us. So I'm showing you that so that you can break the spell through the grace of the Almighty. All right, that's the whole point here. Of course, there's positive words too. Of course, it's the language of creation and destruction, both aspects. So what's the right word? Okay, keys to the truth. Man, you've unsettled me. Help me settle down. Okay, so yeah, mathematics. The right word would be ganita. All right, ganita would be like the right word for calculations, for all these things that we want to do in the right proper way. Ganita, and Ganita Shastra would be the actual study of Ganita, right? So, and there are methods of doing it the right way, and that method is called Vedic math. But don't look at these links here, because even this book cover, like with a Masonic symbol here, and all the stuff that they write here is BS. It's nonsense. So you have to kind of look for stuff out of this range where you would find like Vedic math. And you have a lot of videos on YouTube. You can look on YouTube for Vedic math, and it's tied in with gematria. And I was just talking to some friends about, like, they're almost the same thing, and that's another thing in numerology where they don't want anybody to look at it. Oh, it's the devil. Oh, it's this and that and the other. I agree with you. It's a tool. It could be used for good and evil. But so there's different types of Vedic math that you can do for different levels. And I don't know anything about this. I've just seen it, but I know it's there, and I know they're not teaching it to us. Okay, so and they give you, like, you could do square roots, cube roots in your mind when you know this. Okay, and that's pretty unreal, because usually we look at this and we're stumped, we're distressed, just like they want us to be. All right, so but they too do tricks here. They're not really tricks. what happens is that they're really teaching you the inside scoop on the relationship with between numbers and what numbers are. I mean, you can do like the craziest things in your mind. Just they show you the real relationship between numbers, and this is where in the 1600s they and 1700s they stole this information from the ancient Vedic texts when they plundered India, and then they sold it to the science community. And you can look this up on YouTube. Um, and in the 1700s, that's when the Renaissance and all that came back because they got all the Fibonacci's and all the advanced math from there, so from the ancient Vedic scriptures. So this is no secret. We're not taught about it. Why? Because that's not their intent. That's not their purpose. So wink, wink there with George Carlin, right? They want us just smart enough to pull the lever, but stupid enough that we won't ask the tough questions or realize the truth. God forbid that we realize some level of truth here, right? So again, guys, this is look here. I mean, just a taste, and I'm not related with any of these people, but I just want to show you this chart right here, where it says, look at this. You're doing a square, a cube, sorry, square, 23 squared, 37 squared. I would never be able to do that in my head in a million years. But here they're teaching you the relationship within the numbers and how to do it very quickly without a calculator. So what they're doing is they're messing your relationship with numbers, and numbers are part of the design of the universe. So by they're making you hate numbers is what I'm trying to tell you. So they're confusing your mind, and when you hate numbers, a lot of this is part of the design of the universe, right? The golden ratio and all that. So they're trying to destroy that innate relationship that you would have with the universe by, causing distress and all these things that to tear off, dislocate, annihilate, crush down your mind. Let God guide your thoughts, let God guide your ways, let God guide your actions, and let God protect you at every step of the way, my friends. God bless.